CATSINaM is the Congress of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Nurses and Midwives.
I think the face of nursing and midwifery across Australia has changed, but what is exciting to see is that we're seeing more Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander nurses in nursing and midwifery in mainstream hospitals, in GP clinics, in antenatal care and postnatal care for all of our membership. So I think that's one of the fantastic changes that we're seeing in nursing midwifery, as well as nursing and midwifery leadership.
One of the strategies we're doing in New South Wales Health is running mentoring programs. So we're offering mentor training to our nurses and midwives so that they can mentor our students coming through.
It's really important to focus on your dream, because sometimes it's going to be tough and it's going to be challenging and you're going to feel like I'm never going to make it, but to really be focused on what you're doing and why you're doing it. Often a career will call you and you don't even realise it.
The young ones that are coming through are really respective of the elders here too, so it's nice to see that they're learning from the older people, but it's great to see these young ones they're just so full of energy, they're so full of life, they're very well educated, they're I think the young ones are making a huge difference to the Aboriginal nursing and midwife fraternity.
I guess nursing's been a passion of mine. It's been something that I've always wanted to do, and in my family I've got a lot of my uncles and aunties who have diabetes, and in the community, like everyone growing up seeing everyone sick and having aunties losing legs because of diabetes and stuff, and it's been something just with me. I've wanted to always make a difference in the community.
We have worked with CATSINaM just in the last 12 months to try and develop some material to assist people to talk to people with an Indigenous background, which is more culturally appropriate than some of other material, and also to really break the ice on something that people find really hard to talk about. So looking at having a conversation around if people want to go to country to be buried or to die, and helping health professionals have that conversation with people.
My name's Janine Mohammed. I'm the CEO of CATSINaM, or the Congress of Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander Nurses and Midwives.
How's the conference going so far?
Yeah, the conference has been going really well. The title of our conference is Claiming Our Future. We have lots of Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander nurses in attendance, already participating highly just by their very presence or tweeting out, and already we're starting to create a really great story from our conference.
What about the sessions? Tell us about some of the sessions and how important it is for people to go to these sessions.
So one of the sessions today at the CATSINaM Conference is on how to teach Aboriginal health, culture and history into the nursing and midwifery curriculum. So, which is really important for both our nurses, our Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander nurses, that they actually hear about our history, our elders that used to practice midwifery, and our bush nurses. So to be able to see themselves in that curriculum and hear our history in that curriculum, as well as non-Indigenous nurses learning about cultural safety, so that they can deliver better healthcare delivery to Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander clients.
And some of the guest speakers you got as well, Dr. Chris Sarah was just in one of the sessions at the moment, full house of course, always is, but some of the things that they offer to some of the guest speakers.
Chris Sarah has an amazing story from where he's come to where he's taken his story, and it's a real beacon for a lot of our young Aboriginal nurses and midwives to aspire to be not just effective at a community level, but like he has done himself at a national and international level. So I think it's really important for our young people to see that you can become a leader within Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander affairs.
What about the young up-and-coming midwives and nurses? What sort of advice would you what advice would you give them and hope that they get away from this conference?
So one of the other workshops that we have here is about mentoring. So my advice to young Aboriginal nurses, midwives coming through is to not just have one mentor, but to have many people around you. Culturally, that's, you know, reflective of how we've always done things as well, that we have a number of elders within our community that we tend to. So I would say to replicate that in their nursing and midwifery journey, you know, someone that's done something that they want to see happen in their career, as well as someone who's, you know, got a family, if that person's got a family, and how do you juggle all of those responsibilities. So to really surround yourself with people that are that you see in their life something that you want in yours, and also to give back to community as well, and how you might actually like to do that as an Aboriginal nurse or midwife. Self-care is another really huge thing for all nurses and midwives. You know, we care a lot, we give a lot, so it's really about taking time to self-care. But I think the one thing that's unique for Aboriginal nurses and midwives is often they're the one nurse on their ward who's Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander, sometimes even within their whole hospital, let alone ward or community. So it's really important for them to get to events like ours, which is really focusing on the uniqueness of what it is to be an Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander nurse, midwife, and to actually be mentored and to be, you know, culturally immersed in culture while you're at our conference. Yeah, I think the face of nursing and midwifery across Australia has changed, but what is exciting to see is that we're seeing more Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander nurses in nursing and midwifery, in mainstream hospitals, in GP clinics, in antenatal care and postnatal care for all of our membership. So I think that's one of the fantastic changes that we're seeing in nursing midwifery, as well as nursing and midwifery leadership. So we have professors, we have doctors now. You know, our nursing leaders have always been there, but they're not always present because of, you know, the times. Like Lower Cho Donahue was an Aboriginal nurse, Graceland Smallwood, Aboriginal nurse. So, you know, these amazing people have always been around. There's just more of them now and more visible within our healthcare system, and that's certainly reassuring for our Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people that are accessing healthcare.
So your organisation looks and supports midwives and nurses, Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander midwives and nurses across the country. Do you get any feedback from them about some of the things that they would like to see maybe down the track?
I think the greatest feedback that we get for our Aboriginal nurses, midwives at large, is that they would like to see the system more culturally safe. And when I say the system, that's the education system and that's the hospital system. So, you know, and we see that already, where you have more Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander nurses and midwives employed, you'll see a system that's more culturally safe. And if that system is safe, you see Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people accessing that health system. So that can only be beneficial not just to the recruitment and retention of our members, but to Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander peoples and their access to healthcare. Within the university system, they'd like to see not just a system free of racism, but they'd like to see more Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander academics out there, and that's certainly what this conference is about. This is about claiming our space and claiming our future. So much of our history of not just our professions, but Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people's history has been written by non-Indigenous people. We really want to encourage our Indigenous nurses and midwives to step up into their responsibility, follow their ancestors and their footsteps that they've paved for us, and begin now narrating our story so that future generations will know our histories through our lens.
And finally, it's great to see some of the members. You've got a massive footprint around Australia, up the Torres Strait as well, that they're here as part of this.
Yeah, they, you know, our members come from far and wide, and they work in all levels of health service delivery and in all types. And I suppose one of the things that has gotten them here is, you know, not just their employer but sponsors. So sponsors have been amazing this year, coming out and supporting 11 young Aboriginal students being able to be funded to be here today. And some of them, this is their first time they've ever been on a plane. So that's been amazing, speaking with their families, reassuring them that they're okay and that we're going to send them home not just safe, but, you know, empowered, inspired to become the leader within.
I'm a proud Yamatji woman from WA. I moved to Victoria 7 years ago with family, and this was for studies, and I'm currently in my last year of nursing. It was a long, great, I guess, journey. Learnt a lot, made a lot of mistakes, failed a lot as well, but I've made it, so have 2 more exams left till I start nursing.
Why take up nursing?
I guess nursing's been a passion of mine. It's been something that I've always wanted to do, and in my family I've got a lot of my uncles and aunties who have diabetes, and in the community, like everyone growing up seeing everyone sick and having aunties losing legs because of diabetes and stuff, and it's been something just with me. I've wanted to always make a difference in the community and showing younger youth that, you know, we can make a difference within our community, within our people, and that's why nursing.
Yeah, do you think it's a hard road though, after seeing, you know, some of the trauma in the community?
It's hard seeing it, especially when it's your own people. It's really hard, and that's why I kind of stepped up in high school, making the decision that I wanted to be a nurse. I did my first placement at aged care. It was in year 10, and that was really confronting for me, seeing someone die for the first time. And I guess it was a good experience for me as well. Growing up and going into university and doing my placements there, I kind of knew that there's bad things that are going to happen, but that's all a part of life, and that's what I need to take on to change the community, change the health of my people, our Indigenous and Torres Strait Islander people. And yeah.
You said there's some failures in your life so far. What were they?
A massive one was failing at university, and it was a few subjects that I failed, and I failed a few times, and this is something that took me back. I took a step back. I kind of did 1 unit only, and I was contemplating whether I should do nursing or not. And conferences like CATSINaM has always given me that positive mindset, given me that little step back to reality, for the reason it tells me and it shows me, oh, Shanaz, why are you here? Why are you doing nursing? Why did you start? Why did you think about it? And yeah, just taking me back, I take a step back and think about it. And that was a hard time in my life. Before that, it was in high school, during year 11 and 12. I finished year 11 BCE, and I told my teacher my goals and aspirations in life, being a nurse, and she told me that I didn't have great marks to get into university, and she basically said, just go find a job. And that's all she said.
Gave up on you, sort of thing.
Yeah, find a job, go to TAFE, do it through TAFE. And I was kind of like, oh, nah, I don't think so. And I was the only Indigenous girl in my school, and they were all like, oh, are you Aboriginal? Whoa, is that what they look like? I was like, do you guys have any education, any knowledge? So I was kind of educating them as I was going. I didn't have a big bunch of friends. I had myself and a few close friends, and I was mainly focused on myself and where I wanted to get to, and being the, I guess, role model for our younger youth and the community in Melton as a young Indigenous girl being at that school. And I asked them, you know, if you need anything, I'm here as an Indigenous woman. I want to represent my people in this school, and I want to show that, you know, there is someone that's black here, and I want others to come up. If they're ashamed of their identity, I want them to come up and talk to me, you know. And yeah, telling me that I'd not make it to university really shut me down. I didn't want to go back to year 12. I was in and out of school, but I made it, and I completed year 12. And then my sister said, oh, do you know what, Shanaz, you have an interview? And I was like, yay, I'm working, I'm getting a job. That's what the teacher said, I'm doing it. And then we went to Deakin, and I didn't know what Deakin was, moving to Victoria for the first time. And I went there, it was a university, and I was like, this is a uni, I can't get into uni. And she basically said, yes, you're getting into nursing with me, because she'd signed up as well. We both had our interviews, and it was successful, and now I'm in my last year of nursing. I went back to the teacher and I told her, I didn't tell her because my brother was at that school as well, and I was supporting him a lot throughout his years, and she basically said the same thing to my cousin and my brother, that you guys won't make it to university. So that
Good on you for showing her.
Yeah, I went back there and I seen her, and she was like, Shanaz, how are you? What are you up to these days? Are you at TAFE? And I was like, no, I'm at university. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, nursing. You told me I couldn't do it, and I've done it. And she was really happy. And I was glad that she's seen that, you know, us young people, we can do it. Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people, we can do it. And that's what I want to show the younger community, that no matter what happens, no matter what's in the way, don't let it get you down. You can do it. Stand up. If you need the support, call out for it. Don't sit there and wait for it. Call out for it. If you need someone to talk to, there's people there.
So you had support at uni when you failed?
Yes, I had support. I had IKE, Institute of Koori Education. They supported me a lot. My family supported me a lot. My friends supported me a lot. And going to conferences like CATSINaM is a motivation to continue your journey and to show other people that, you know, I'm here with you, we're on the same journey and we're going to make it together. And yeah.
And what about here being at the conference meeting? I mean this with respect, older nurses and midwives, catching up with them. How does it feel being here with them?
It's an amazing feeling, just to show them that this is something they've wanted. Our elders, our aunties, our uncles, they wanted us younger generations to get out there and do nursing, be in the health field, and to be able to come out here and show them that, you know, this is the result. You have us here, like, you know, this is the proof that we're coming into health and we're trying to, like, you know, I guess kill inequality in health within Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. And just closing the gap, I guess, like, yeah, and making our people proud. And yeah, it's a great feeling to see that when they see us, they get so happy and we get to connect with them. They tell us their stories, their journeys, and it's amazing. They're mentors to us, they're advocates, they're everything, and they're the reason why we're here. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here in the first place. So.
After uni, besides celebrating, what will you be doing? You want to go back into communities? Do you want to stay in the city?
So my plan after university, I've had my interview at St. Vincent's and they've accepted me for my grad year. Hopefully get my skills up in St. Vincent's Hospital in Melbourne and then go back to community where I've always wanted to go and make a difference and basically make better health out there, educate our people and show them that, you know, if I can do it, you can do it too. I thought I couldn't do it. I thought I was too dumb. Even now I think I'm too dumb. I just surprise myself sometimes and I think everyone surprises themselves. You just don't know what you have and other people see it.
What advice would you give young and upcoming midwives, nurses, Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander women?
I would like to let them know that don't let those barriers, those obstacles bring you down. Let them be your strive, let them be your motivation to getting further and being successful and just going out there and showing the world that Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people are successful. We get told that, you know, we can't do it because we're black or because we have no education or we've got culture with us. Don't forget who you are, do what you want to do, strive for success and make yourself proud, make your family proud, make your people proud.